the 3 point, but still, there's still some critical points, yeah, about yesterday that me and you, Matty, we need to talk about. Yeah, we really need to delve deeper into what happened yesterday. But I'll just allow you to start up the show. So
Okay.
let's
All
get
right.
warmed up. Let's get warmed up.
Yep. Let's go straight to the chat. Darren's getting ready to join us in just a second. So Darren to be being here with us in just a second. Hendon Gona, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, brother. Yep. United is up. That was a very. I saw that live actually. Glad
Yeah,
that you were here with us. It
Max,
was a
that was
great
a good
goal.
goal.
That
That
was a
was an
great goal.
incredible goal from Ganacho, man. Come on, man.
Yep.
Bicycle kick. Amazing.
Hey, probably a good cop, bad. Well, you might be surprised. You might be surprised. You're like good cop, bad cop. You might be surprised. You might be surprised this morning. So let's go straight into this. Let's get right into this game. So yesterday was the we're going back to Brentford. Yesterday went into a game, hostile environment. Brentford is notoriously a tough place to go play.
Yeah. Yeah.
First half, Tony was probably one. I mean, it's just and Hendon hit it right on the head. Let's see, Hendon hit it right on the head right here.
Mm.
Unsustainable
Sustainable
levels
level
of performance.
of performance. Mm.
That that is that is exactly where I want to go start off at. So that first half yesterday, Tony,
Mm.
I was just shocking. It was shocking.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, there's no other word that can describe the first half of football. Yesterday. It was shocking. And for me,
Yeah.
Tony,
Yeah.
it's been like that the entire season. It's the entire season. We're playing we coming out of these games just slow. Everything is all over the place. We could not get anything going. And you go down the list. I'm gonna I'm gonna look up the player range while I look at this. I just need to get the names here because we can go down this. But I just you looked at the team. Let's start at the goalkeeper. Let's start there. Let's start there. That's the first place we'll start. We'll start with the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
What the
Big up
hell,
to the people. Big up to the people in the chat. Yeah.
Taib?
BX Gunner 81. Taib, you sing. These are legends. Yeah. Hendon
Yep.
Gunner. Big ups to you guys. Keep the comments coming, guys. Big ups. You
Yep.
guys are the real heroes. Yeah.
I really wish StreamYard would have it to where the other person, you could have it to where you could delegate where people, even if you talking, you could still go through the chat. It would make life a lot easier. But
Exactly.
glad you was able to catch that. But what the hell was Ramsdale doing there
Oh
on that? I mean,
my.
immediately out of the gate, immediately out of the gate, Ramsdale gets the ball. He's goofing off. I mean, goofing off. That's all you can look at. Just goofing off, playing around, lollygagging. And thank God Declan Rice was woke because nobody else was woke. Declan Rice was actually paying attention. Luckily he was paying attention and was able to keep it
Yes.
fine.
Oh my God. See, yeah, Southern Guinea, yeah. When Aaron Ramsdale came out, yeah, he said something. Not even the second time when he spoke to Ian Wright. That one was a blunder, a big one, yeah. The first one when he had a discussion to the Sun newspaper about his new nascent uh, uh, you know rivalry with the new goalkeeper. I'm talking of David Raya. He came out and he said he's hurting. He said he's stressed and he's hurting. See, that isn't what I was expecting from Ramsdale when he came out and said that he was hurting. I was expecting a full-fledged Arsenal goalkeeper to say, "Hey, this is competition that I'm seeing right here, right now, and I expect to fight for my place and give the manager a headache so that if he's coming up to say, hey, I want to pick and choose right now, I will be up for it. I'll be up for the competition."
Yep.
And then the next one, he came out. And you know what? Yeah, all these things, yeah. Imagine the way Arsenal players, yeah, are talking to the press. See, Matt, yeah, see, I grew up. Hey, Darren Sullivan is down here with us. Darren, big ups to you, man. I know
Big
big
D.
words, big words he had to say on his Instagram channel. Yeah, I follow this guy everywhere on his Instagram channel. Yeah, because he talks football on on Payas, and big ups to you, Darren. It's nice to see you. Although I'm still
Good
talking right
evening.
now, I can't wait to pass the baton to you. Of course, after Matt drops a few bombs down here too. But see, yeah, I expected Ramsdale to come out smoking. But see, Matt and Darren, yeah, just I grew up, yeah, at a time where players like Ian Wright, professionals, yeah, David Simon, Thierry Henry, yeah, Vieira, yeah, Gilberto. I grew up where at a time where these players don't even talk to the press. Press is the number one enemy. Yeah, it's the number one enemy of the team. These guys don't talk to the press at all. And even if they do talk to the press, it's about just those little things and they don't give anything away. But I've seen that these latest players that we have now all want to talk to the press, all talking like rats and giving up valuable information about themselves. How in God's name did Ramsdale go out there to a legend of our football club? Ian Wright is a big legend of our football club, whether we like it or not. And go and tell this guy, yeah, that he can't concentrate throughout 90 minutes in a game that you're being rightfully paid. Yeah. Does any fan out here in the charts or anywhere in the panel down here agree that Ramsdale should be dropped from that position as the number one goalkeeper? Look at the gaff yesterday. That tells you everything
Yeah.
you need to know. It tells you everything you need to know about his mentality as a player. It tells you everything you need to know about his mentality in terms of dealing with competition. He's pressured. And Mr. Nick, his father, I hate bringing in parents down to football, man. We ought not to do this, yeah. But that man offered himself up for criticism the moment he spoke about his son and brought his son up in the news to the press of all places. Yeah, that is what your son gave up and served up to Arsenal fans yesterday to see. I hope you're impressed with what you saw there, Mr. Nick Ramsdale, because that was a disgrace. This guy can't seem to take competition seriously. What were you doing with the ball? That ball was passed to you quick enough. You need to make it quick enough. Your transition needs to be quick enough. It isn't. It isn't there for us, man. Mentally, he's not there. He's not up for the competition, and I think he was rightfully dropped. And I don't think that guy is number one stuff for Arsenal. Just look at the display yesterday. Horrible, horrible showing. Horrible showing. And I definitely I do think because Darren was banging on this point
Oh
even
yeah.
earlier before me. He
Yeah.
was banging on this point even earlier than Arsenal fans even actually had to say anything about Ramsdale. He, Manny, I won't, I'm very forefront in topics like this because Darren was having his say about Ramsdale. He wasn't too confident about this guy. Even Manny too wasn't even confident about this guy. Even later on, before even me and you, Matt, even began to even raise issues about about Ramsdale. Darren has been in the forefront of that fight. Manny has been in forefront of that fight. Ramsdale, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
Yep. Yep. So you saw that he had that gap, he had the other gap, he threw the ball down on the ground. It was just it was chaotic, man. That game was chaotic, to say the least. Darren, you had some strong words yesterday. You had some strong words about an hour ago. And judging by that face, I know that face. I've seen that face. I'm pretty sure you're about to have some strong words right now. So go ahead, brother. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, we look devoid of ideas. Tactically, we're all over the shop. We haven't got any sort of relationships going on the pitch. There's nothing. And this business about playing out from the back and then drawing the opponents on and then trying to beat that press and moving up the pitch. Unfortunately, football is going that way more and more. I saw it in the Liverpool and City game, just some brief highlights. And it's a shame because it's stifling football. Football should be right back versus left winger, left back versus right winger. All these duels over the pitch we used to enjoy. Arsenal against Man United, Vieira against Keane, Ashley Cole against Ronaldo, Lauren against Beckham. All this, it's all gone. Yeah, and it's boring. It just bores me to tears watching these games. And yesterday's game was shocking. What really grates me with our fan base is they watch 89 minutes of Dross, right? That we've signed, and that the manager doesn't even know how to get the best out of this player. Come on as sub and get thrown up top, which is probably his best position. Martinelli come off, he come on, but he just went up top in the position where he is going to score goals. Arteta's signed his player for 65 million and don't even know what to do with him. Most fans know that his best place is right up top because he's a big lad, 6'4", and he's reasonable in the air. And if he was coached properly, he'd be very good in the air, maybe. And Arteta puts him in left midfield. I mean, come on, left midfielder. And when he's in left midfield, all he does is kick people like he did up at Newcastle. So what our fans have done is watched 89 minutes of drivel, and then they overhype a goal that gets scored on the back post. Yeah, right, it was a reasonable goal, nothing special about it. And then they all jump up and down like up top of the league on the 25th of November. Well, nothing gets handed out on the 25th of November. Nothing gets handed out on the 25th. Yet they're all now jumping up and down like going ecstatic over that. Really, what needed to happen was Arteta needed to come on the pitch, grab the players, get him back in the dressing room. None of this, let's give Aaron Ramsdale a cuddle. None of this, let's get Havertz, take him over to the Arsenal fans and dance around. This club now, I was thinking today, it is just like a soap opera. There's more emphasis put on all this crap that's going off the pitch than there is on it. And Arteta walks on there and grins and smiles and is laughing. He's going to get found out. It's only a matter of time before he gets found out yet again. And the people that are suffering are the genuine fans like us that want to see us lift some trophies. We'll go near, but we won't get there. We won't achieve what we've achieved. And all these fans on Facebook that call me and other people a fake fan and all this and what was it today? Mug and all this I get called. I'll say, well, I'm Arsenal since 1978. I'm not Arteta since 2019. Yeah. And that is the facts of the matter, unfortunately. And until we can get someone in that can bring a bit of stability, calm and sensible tactics to our team, we're always going to do this every season. We're going to come close, but and we'll be up there, but at the end we'll just fall apart. And Ramsdale, really, my son sort of messaged me during the game and said, Dad, I'm not sure if he's deliberately doing this because he's been left out. That one where he kicked it out and he was under a little bit of pressure and that, but I mean, he could have just kicked that ball long. He had plenty of time to kick that ball long and he just dithered on it, got charged down. And then the other one was when he went to distribute the ball by throwing it out and sort of just threw it on the floor, right in front of him. Come on, I mean, really?
Yeah.
When you look at his body language, he looks mentally disturbed. And I'm saying that I'm going to say that in the most kindest way. I actually think the guy is under extreme pressure with his his mental state.
He's rattled. Is what you're trying. He's rattled.
I've got to be careful really on giving him too much stick, because I look at the bloke and he's walking along, he's doing this with his tongue and he's looking around. The guy does not look stable at the moment. You know, if I put myself in his shoes, you know, it's a big thing. I mean, I know he gets paid all the money and everything. He's put himself out there, fair enough. But at the end of the day, he's a human being. So, you know, we do need to be a bit careful. But at the same time, you know, it's just a mess. And what's Arteta going to do in January? Is he going to sell him off? I'd imagine Ramsdale. But when I watched before the game, I saw Arteta in the dugout. And Arteta looked fuming in the dugout. When I looked at him, he looked really sort of angry. And was that because, you know, oh dear, I've got to play Ramsdale in. I don't like him now. I've put Raya in and I have to play Ramsdale today because of this business about the loan thing with Brentford. He just did not look happy at all, Arteta, before the game. And then afterwards, he's gone off with Havertz and is jumping all about as if to say, oh, look, he's got a goal. Well, he's got 1 goal in 3 months from open play, 65 million. It's not really value for money, is it? Is that going to win you a title? So if he scores, so we got another, 6 months to go in the season. So if number 29 averages another 2 goals between now and the end of the season, is that going to win us a title? Probably not.
You know, we've sat here, and I watched the fans yesterday, and I'm going to address this. BX, I'm going to address you. I'm going to get you. Overhyping the game winner. Tony, me and you talked earlier this morning. And Tony, what did I say to you? What did I say to you? I said, we saw this all last season. We saw it against Manchester United last year with Nketiah. We saw it Reece Nelson. We've seen this. Nobody's saying don't celebrate a goal. But the problem of the matter is we're celebrating like the goal has erased the game, erased the play yesterday, erased the inept performances, erased the fact that we still have not scored. We have strikers. We had the most attacking lineup we have had all year on the pitch yesterday, and we scuffle to score. I saw excuses yesterday. People were saying, oh, well, this team beat Manchester City twice. We beat the Man City this year. Y'all aren't celebrating this and then the third. We are only in the first half of the season. People were carrying on yesterday as if we were in the end of March, going into April, pulling away by 6 to 9 points. That's the way people were celebrating yesterday. And here we are. We still have yet to play Liverpool. Aston Villa's 2 points behind us. I mean, Man United is in 5th place. As of right now, I think they're in 5th place last time I checked. So, I mean, this is far from over. And the problems that we have are still there. The same problems we've been dealing with this all year, gentlemen, where we have these slow starts. We can't score. We're passing here. We're going backwards there. We're looking over here. And it's the same thing. Last minute gas winner, penalty kick, deflection goal against Manchester City. Deflection goals. And people are thinking, as Hendon stated earlier, this is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. I watched Gravenberch walk right through Man City's midfield yesterday, and we get ready to play that in about a month. We're going to be playing Liverpool in about a month. And judging by what I saw out of that game, we're not fit to play either one of those teams right now. Yeah, we got by City. We beat City in the Dinner Plate Cup. But yeah, we got a deflection goal. But when if we went to a team like a major team and put the wood down and put it on the wood? Aston Villa today, I watched that game. Went right through and carved up Spurs. Chop, 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 gone. And vice versa. Even though Spurs has lost 3 in a row, we're still not fit to play them. When is people going to realize that we have major problems at this club and that we have to get things sorted out in this January transfer window? And I find it ironic that all four of us is sitting here again talking about a January transfer window as we've all done it for the last 2 years. We've sat right here every time we look up. We need a striker, we need a midfielder, we need a left back, we need another center back in case somebody go down. We need a goalkeeper to replace the one that we're selling. I mean, we're back at square one. Monty, what do you make of yesterday's performance, my friend? Oh, boy, Monty dropped off right quick, but I'll say this. Hold on. We just beat the European and Premier League. No, we hadn't done anything. I keep trying to tell you, you take these people are taking these victories and they're equating them to winning cups. They're equating them to winning cups. Just because you beat the team, listen, I put it to you this way. Arsenal will be the only team that can beat Man City twice in 1 year and still won't win a title. We beat
I saw something earlier on with Tony Adams and Paul Scholes. They were on some interview and they were talking about results and when they look at other teams and all this. Tony Adams said he never even bothered looking at other teams' results till April. He just stay in it by April. Don't even think about winning anything in the Premier League until you get to like late March, April. Then in the last sort of 8 games, you start thinking, oh, are they dropping points? And Paul Scholes said, yeah, you'd be watching Arsenal's games, and if they scored a late winner, he said you'd be devastated. So this is proper professional, proper world-class players talking about how you win the Premier League and how you compete to win the Premier League. And they're telling the audience that, start getting excited in sort of April, towards May.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. By the way, Manny, I like this camera angle you just had right now. It brings out all the old scruffiness, just like Gerard Butler. But you know what? Yeah. Matty, please move up to BX Gunner's comment around 7:32. BX Gunner, shout out to you. Yeah. See, he's an Arsenal fan. BX Gunner. I think the next comment. Yeah. Guys, I want you to also listen to
I'm
to
water
this.
while you talk, Tony.
Yeah, sure. He says something here. I'm convinced this is purely agenda driven, and Tony, you are better than that. See, BX Gunner, when you look at your other comment, yeah, you said we beat the European and Premiership champions. I do agree. I get it. I get it. I get that argument. But again, we've not won trophies, man. And BX Guna, yeah, because I do know I do know your person, yeah, because you're a very ardent Arsenal supporter, yeah. You've been supporting this football club for a long time, and you know that the last time we won a competitive trophy was in 2004. You can't tell me, man, you're not starving. You're not starving for the big one. You can't tell me you're not starving for the Premiership title. You can't tell me you're not starving for the Champions League. See, yeah, we beat the European champions this year, but we've not won the trophy. We've not won the title. And BX Gunner, you know me, I came out last season and I said we're gonna win the league. But look at what happened last season. It's still the same ineptitude with the manager. It's still the same ineptitude and ineffectivity in the transfer window that made us to lose out from winning the trophy last season. And see, BX Gunner, yeah, despite we're top of the league right now, yeah, it's good. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. But I actually see through the rubble. I see through the mask right there because the last season of our season should be one that should be a benchmark for us and for Arsenal fans. That if we don't get it right in the transfer window, that if we paper the cracks right now and leave the criticism out of it, we're gonna be in big problems. What happens if Saliba goes down right now? What happens if we continue this bickering with the goalkeeper, Slot down there? that's happening right now. What happens if we don't have a big striker come in by January to help us score more goals? It's good that Kai Havertz can score a goal yesterday and help bail us out. Yes, he did bail us out. Yes, I take the 3 points. Yes, I do clap. That was a good goal. Yes, I will. Yeah, and I won the 3 points because I'm not a player supporter. Last time I checked, I'm an Arsenal supporter. So good 3 points. I want it. I really want it, BX Gunner. But again, I see through the mask, basically. Yeah, it was a good one, but again, the performance in that matchup was shocking. It was a disgrace. I won't lie to you. Coupled with with that gaff from Ramsdale yesterday, it wasn't good enough. And we all know this, that it's not sustainable at all. It's not sustainable. We still need that precious replacement for Saka. What happens if he hobbles off right now? We still need that striker to come in by January. We still need a central midfielder to come in and help us out with Martin Odegaard. We can see even yesterday, he's barely up to scratch. We have a problem in creativity. I see through this mask, BX Gunner, even if I do understand where you're coming from. And truthfully, there's no agenda here. If you're asking me, there's no agenda with Arsenal going to the transfer window to go get a striker, to go get a central midfielder to help with our see, our creativity is down the toilet, it's down the gutter. It's down the gutter. We need someone who will come in down there. Mind you, BX Gunner, Tomiyasu is going for the Asians Cup by January. Yeah, mind you, he started in right back yesterday. He's leaving. Fabio Vieira might be leaving this football club by January because Marseille, as I've heard, is going to table an offer to take him up. Kivio wants out. He wants to leave by January. Thomas Partey wouldn't be here by January. El Neni wouldn't be here by January. He's leaving for the African Nations Cup. That leaves a gaping hole in our midfield with no replacements and no one out there. BX Gunner, you can't tell me. You can't tell me that you're okay right now, knowing that there's this gaping hole coming by January. It is not sustainable. You and me, we know this. It isn't sustainable. And that's why we're talking, and that's why we're seeing beyond Arsenal being top of the table right now.
That was world class, Tony. That was you put it, as we say down here in the South, you put it where the goats can get it. I mean, that was right on the money. The fact that we're Monty, I'm going to come over to you in just a second, brother, because I know you got some stuff you want to say. The fact that, like you stated, Tony, we've got so many departing players, and that we don't have any. We're already bare bones. We're already bare bones. And it's just like I asked Ola during the broadcast yesterday, do you trust Arteta to go to the grocery store and buy the groceries? After through a 4, 5, 6 windows, we've seen how these last couple windows go. And same thing I told you this morning. If we get to January and we're not buying signings that what I call propel you to a title type signings, seal the deal signings, as I stated, then you know what's getting ready to happen. You know what's coming around the corner. Monty, yesterday's performance. Where are we going? These comments here. Let me go back here. Even this one here. Let's pull this up. We beat the European champions. What are we complaining about? Monty, take it away, brother. Can you hear me? You there, Monty?
Well, first of all, let me apologize for being a bit late. I mean, I'm a bit late than usual. And as you can see, I had some issues with the PC, so I wanted to sign the phone. That sort of explains the angle. By the way, Tony, it's no shave November, so I've got the scruffiness going on, but come the 1st of December, this will be completely locked off.
It's good. It's good. I like it.
Obviously, I missed the three of you making some fine discussion. But yeah, obviously, I missed the three of you making some fine discussions, but I'm really glad you brought up that grocery store epithet, Matt, because I'm sure Darren will remember a picture book called Don't Forget the Bacon, where a mum sends his son to buy some groceries, 6 round eggs as well as that, cake for tea, a pound of pears, and don't forget the bacon. And because of the Chinese whispers, the poor boy walks along the street but gets a lot of things confused. And eventually, going back, he has a memory jog and remembers 3 of the things. But by the time he gets home, he realizes he forgot the bacon. He couldn't bring home the bacon. So the poor boy had to go out again. That's Mikel Arteta in a nutshell, you see. And the worst part is, with Gabriel Jesus and Eddie Nketiah back in the squad, and of course Trossard still thereabouts, I don't think Arteta will even want to consider a striker. And let's not also forget that in the international break, we saw Gabriel Martinelli score a fine goal for Brazil, albeit in a losing cause against Colombia. Shout out to Luis Diaz. I'm very happy that his father was returned home safe and sound, and it was a terrific performance for him. Really happy for him. But you can see right now that he, as a manager, he just doesn't have his priorities straight. He will end up forgetting the thing which he needs the most. And so back to the game, I completely echo everything you were saying. You know, it was a jammy 1-0 win. Jammy is, of course, another word we use in the UK for lucky. I'm sure you might have heard that many times. We Brits do like our jam, but not too much of it. It's not laid on too thick, if you know what I mean. And obviously, there were so many things wrong with the game, how we just weren't quite able to, you know, put away our chances. How when Eddie Nketiah came on as a sub, he could have been a team player, but instead opted to go for glory. And of course, Aaron Ramsdale not having a memorable game at all. I will deal with the Ramsdale issue right now, because here's my biggest fear. We can't afford to let him go in January, because we let him go in January, we've got Karl Hein on the bench. Now, this bloke has played for Estonia of late in the internationals, and he probably might be established as their new number 1. So after Mart Poom, we have another Estonian international playing for us. But he's hardly played at all under Arteta, and I would not feel comfortable with him, you know, being on the bench as a backup to David Raya, who, yes, he may be established as our number 1, but I tell you what, he is far from convincing. And then when I saw that lineup, mind you, and I'm just going to switch to the computer in a minute because the battery in my phone's about to die. So, yeah, you'll see me coming on in a minute.
There you go. I got you.
There you go.
And here I am. Yep.
We got 2 monitors on
that
there.
is, yeah. That's the wonder of. That's the wonder of being prepared. I mean, because I didn't want to have to wait too long for the computer to restart and have to come on again. But by the way, United have just taken a 2-0 lead. Marcus Rashford with a penalty, and he's now joined Kai Havertz on 2 goals this season. But that was a penalty. Ashley Young should have known better than that. But there were so many things wrong with the performance yesterday. So many things that frustrated me personally that I didn't even know what to make of it. And in as much as we can say that Zinchenko has somewhat improved defensively with another goal line clearance, it was partly down to him that the ball was even, you know, brought to that area where Zinchenko had to come back. And as Tony said, we've already got a few defensive injuries. I believe Ben White has somehow returned to full fitness. But, Nana, what a save. I'm sorry, I've got the telly on right now. And as I said, there were so many things wrong with the performance, and the fact that we could celebrate winning a jammy game like that. Darren will remember that when we used to win games 1-0 under George Graham, we had our share of jammy performances, but I don't believe at those points in time that the players would have been willing to go overboard about winning a game like that. If anything, if they were serious enough, they would have said, you know what? We got lucky, and we have to make sure that we make the most of our luck and do really, really well. And I don't see that level of honesty in this team. I don't see that level of self, criticism and being willing to, be humble. That humility is completely gone. And without that humility, you simply don't have the class. And with regard to Ramsdale, all I can say is how the mighty have fallen. This is the same guy who would, wind up the opposition with his tongue stuck out, and he, would always try to make himself the main man for the occasion, admitting that he had a concentration problem. Now he looks completely shocked. And if you saw the interview that Arteta gave after the game, I think it was to BT Sport, he never even bothered to mention Aaron Ramsdale by name. Now, there is a part of me that thinks that was a little bit, quite low, because sometimes as a manager, you've got to know when to show a little bit of empathy. But I'm not about to, let Ramsdale off the hook, because Matt, that we often say that your attitude determines your altitude. Yeah. And what Aaron Ramsdale is experiencing now is a consequence of a pretty poor attitude, an unwillingness to want to try and improve himself, and the belief that he is the bee's knees. And ironically, most of these Arsenal fans who adore Ramsdale say the same rubbish about a certain Emiliano Martinez. But this guy's a winner. He has a right to have a little bit of an ego and attitude, because he works hard on his game every single time in training at Villa Park. And he makes it clear that he tries to improve himself, and so you'll never see him make the same mistake twice. He had a star turn today for Aston Villa with 2 brilliant saves out of the 6 he made to deny Brennan Johnson and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And that was, I believe, not too long after Ollie Watkins had put them 2-1 up. And so this is a guy who Arsenal fans hate, because he had the gumption to say, I'm not going to sit around here and fight for my place like a good little boy if you don't value me enough after everything I did for you. And then he went to Aston Villa and went on to do some good things with them, and even greater things with the Argentina national team. As they would say in cool, he knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he was willing to work hard for it and stay humble. And because he wanted everything, he got it. That humility isn't there in Ramsdale. And I think that's also a consequence of the manager, because the fish rots from the head down. So we need to be willing enough to take a look at ourselves and our team as fans. The players definitely have to do a lot of reflection and soul searching. And yet, under Arteta, I don't see that happening. And I want to give this question to you, Darren, if I may, sir, because you might be the best person to answer this. There is so much criticism about people like Martinez who've left the club because of their supposed arrogance and attitude. But we're seeing an even worse attitude and arrogance from many players in this Arsenal team. And would you say that Arteta deserves to be blamed for that?
Now, before Darren answers that, I just want to say this. Now, me and Darren talked on Friday, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because we just talked about the team, these cracks in the team Friday. See, that just goes to show you that we're not crazy, because I hadn't talked to Monty outside I hadn't talked to Monty in a while. I mean, we chatted online, but we hadn't talked about Arsenal in a minute. And for him to come and say that after me and you, Darren, just talked about this Friday, what does this tell you? So go ahead, brother.
It's definitely on Arteta. All of it is on Arteta, because we've become a team and a squad full of victims. Ramsdale's a victim now.
Reign of terror by Arteta, and he's now the victim because the club decided they were going to do Amazon and invite Nick Ramsdale in. And so you go inviting the parents in to get involved in team matters. All of a sudden, when the parent sees his son drops, he's going to get involved and start, contacting the media and all this and doing interviews and saying, well, my son should be in the team, which is what my mum did for me when I was left out of the team when I was at school, which is not Arsenal Football Club. And the other victim is Havertz, who's been bought for 65 million, and Arteta is so silly and childish. He doesn't, and inexperienced. He just don't know where to play him. So he's played him at left midfield. And I was saying on Friday as well, Matt, that if anyone wants to go and see what Havertz's strengths is, just go on YouTube, put his name in, and put Chelsea in. And what you'll see is half of his goals come from high balls put in the box. And I said on Friday, when do we ever do that with Havertz? We ain't been doing it. And it was just sod's law yesterday that Saka stuck a high ball in the box and he scored a goal with his head.
But I don't even think Arteta has told Saka to do that. I think Saka's probably, being the clever lad that he is, thought, well, we've had 89 minutes of this not working. Let's try something different. We have become a soap opera, and we have got victims in the soap opera because Arsenal Football Club like a victim, because we've become victims because we don't win anything anymore. And if we become victims, and we can all say that we're jolly good chaps that like to counsel players and people that have a bad day at the office and fail to succeed, all of a sudden we become this holier than thou football club that sort of embraces failure. And that's what we've become. And that is what Arteta is doing. He's just got a dog at the training ground. You go and buy a dog for your kid. When you're bringing a kid up, you go and get an animal, a cat or a dog, to make it nice and friendly and cuddly and start giving it a stroke and, right? That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Premier League football. It's winter time. Tackles fly in. It's hard. Yeah, we're not talking, oh, let's be nice. Thierry Henry summed it all up at the club, the ethos. Everything's too nice. And that's a basic principle what's going on our football club. Because when we fail, when the trophy cabinet's empty, the end of this season again, we're going to hear Mr. Arteta say, we go again. And we'll all just be getting on the roundabout again, of the failure roundabout.
It's the entitlement, isn't it, Darren? It's the entitlement, isn't it, sir?
This is all on Arteta's. This is all Arteta's doing. He must have sanctioned getting the dog called winning the trainer. Can you see Brian Clough or Terry Venables or Alex Ferguson or George Graham say, oh, let's go and buy a dog and bring it to the training ground? Yeah, because it's like, give the dog a stroke and that will give you some therapy when you lose and you fail to win trophies. It's just rotten from top to bottom. Arteta is the man who is responsible for all of it. And results like yesterday are really punishing for us as proper fans because, we want to win. We don't want to be coming second in the Premier League. We don't want to get knocked out in the semi-final or quarter-final of the Champions League. Or we want to win trophies. I'm not saying we have to win every trophy. We can't do that. But it would have been nice when we moved to the Emirates just to have chipped away and won maybe one or two Champions League trophies. I don't think that's asking too much as supporters, but we ain't got anywhere near any of it. No. We're so far removed from success, and when these results come up like yesterday in the 1-0 against Man City, our fans seem to just want to get a buzz off of one result. It's actually laziness as a supporter. If you're going to be a supporter, want to win a trophy, don't be lazy. Don't go from game to game and think, oh, look, I've just got my little fix now. We've just beaten Brentford 1-0 away. I feel like I'm on top of the world. No, that's not what supporting Arsenal Football Club's about. You're meant to be in it to win it. And if you don't want to be in it to win it, don't take part. Go and watch another sport or go and buy yourself a dog called Win and stroke it and be like a victim. Yeah? Because dog called Win equals victim, yeah. Amazon documentary equals victim because you're bringing all this other rubbish in, way away from the football and winning. It's far removed, and it's just a big soap opera. And I can't wait until it all ends. Unfortunately, I think we've got a massive struggle on our hands to convince these deluded fans that just one win against any team, unless you're playing in the final, it's not worth nothing. You've got to win 7 or 8 games on a trot to win a cup, or you've got to play 38 games over summer, spring, autumn, winter to win a trophy. It don't just get handed out to you. It's laziness. pure
Yeah.
laziness on the basis of our fan base. People are just being too lazy. They just think, oh well, I've got my fix now. We just had a 89th minute winner. I've just got my fix. Move on to the next one. Well, that's not me. Never will be me. Thanks for having me on again, Matt and Tony and Manny. Great
Darren,
to be
big ups
in
to
here.
you, man.
I'm going to have to go, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right, brother.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank
Big
you,
ups to
sir.
you, Darren, man.
We know where Darren stands.
Time to go.
Yeah. Time to go. All right. Cheers.
Yeah,
All right.
Matt. Matt. Yeah.
Go
See,
ahead, Tony.
um, of course, Darren had some words to say about Arteta and this Kai Havertz issue down there, but we already know who the big culprit is in this one. Yeah, it's Mikel Arteta. Is the biggest culprit in everything. Yeah, you go on to sign a 65 million pound player. Right now, I can't even call him a midfielder or a striker.
Yep.
What's the identity, yeah, of Kai Havertz in this team? Because that's a bigger problem. And see, yesterday I posted something. Manny had some choice words to say on that Instagram post down there yesterday. I was trying to attempt an open discourse about Kai Havertz and his relevance in this team. See, we bring a player from Chelsea Football Club, yeah? Mikel Arteta doesn't have any idea where to play this player. He plays him as a center, as a left midfielder, right, in the team. And when you're having an argument with other Arsenal fans, yeah, about him putting in a decent performance and him scoring goals, they will tell you, is he a striker that he should be scoring lots of goals for us? And that takes us back to how Mikel Arteta is using this guy in the team. Is he playing as a striker or is he playing as a midfielder? And Marty, I brought up this argument with you. If we want this guy to come in, week out to score goals, is he now playing as our striker at Arsenal Football Club? Or is he playing as a midfielder in this football club? So the identity has to be understood first and foremost before we start, talking about him scoring goals or him doing anything at all. Let's know his identity in this football club. Then we can have a honest conversation about this guy. Good, he scores an 89-minute, goal for us. But again, does it really kind of forgives him about the other games that he has played for this football club? Does it totally gloss over the cracks, about what he has done in this football club? So, it's a big argument, man, and Mikel Arteta has to take the criticism for it. Yeah.
Well,
You
Tony,
brought this player.
don't forget the Havertz is still living off the memory of that Champions League winning final goal. So don't be surprised. He might have a reputation for being a player who has one great moment that glosses over everything. I mean, if he was that way at Chelsea, he was awful for Chelsea in his final season with them. Why we bought him, I will never know. Wouldn't you agree, brother?
I have to agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly, and that's what I refer to as the we have a body of work. We have a body of work to see this gentleman. He scores every so often. Yeah, he scored yesterday. That's cool. But what happens when we're coming down the stretch with 6 points off the top? We need wins. We can't afford draws. Will he score then? Those are the questions that need to be asked. But I want to ask another question. We're gonna put a foot. We'll come back to him later on. I want to go somewhere else in midfield. I want to go over talk to you two about a certain young man that's supposed to be, to some other folks, the captain of Arsenal Football Club. Declan Rice is my captain. Mr. Odegaard. Mr. Odegaard. Mr. Odegaard has looked like trash this year. Darren stated in one of his videos, he's stiff, unassured, He's not reading the game properly. There was a comment there. Brother Seymour brought up. Do you think you should put him up? Personally, I think he needs to go right into Odegaard's position. Zinchenko needs to sit right there in his position and move and create. Odegaard is becoming a liability of this football club. We're just thankful that Brentford couldn't score yesterday. I think he needs to be looked at. I think he's out of form. I think the pressure's starting to get to him. Tony, I'm going to turn it over to you. Get your thoughts on that. It ain't looking good for Mr. Odegaard.
See, Matty, of course, you know my opinion about this. Yeah, I've been talking about it on my show. Martin Odegaard last season, 15 goals. Yeah, guys, just let that sink in. 15 goals last season, 7 assists last season. That's what you want from your top midfielder. That's what you want from him. This season, those goals have dried up. This season, those goals have completely dried up. And do you know something else that has dried up? The assists have also dried up. Now, it's totally okay if the goals dry up, yeah. But you see the assist, which is his main job in the
Yep.
midfield, when that dries up, then it's open season. We can talk about it because it's something so dangerous because Arsenal have built that team round Martin Odegaard trying to create for his team. And to be very sincere with you guys, yeah, do you think he's been injured this season? I think there's a little bit of some PR spin going on here and there with Martin Odegaard. He hasn't been on form this season. Mikel Arteta has tried to kind of like shoulder part of the blame this season by getting him off games just to make sure that those criticisms don't eat deep into his player, into his captain also. And right now we have to even call a spade a spade. The captain and band because see, this guy is not just an ordinary player. That's the bigger problem that we're having right now. He is not just the creator in chief at Arsenal Football Club. He also doubles as our captain. So you need to even watch the way you even allow him to get in and out of the football game because he's your captain. Because it sends the wrong message when your captain doesn't even play games, doesn't score goals, and doesn't assist in our games. And this season, it's all come crashing right now. He's not competitive as a captain. He isn't competitive as a creator, and he isn't competitive as a goal scorer from the middle of the park. Everything is wrong with him right now. Yeah, and there's only one person to blame for that. It's Mikel Arteta. The bringing in of Kai Havertz, forcing Kai Havertz into that team, has actually done more harm than good to this football team. It has made
It's time to go!
Martin Odegaard look scruffy right now. No decent passes. Just look at the game against Brentford. He couldn't string complete 3 good passes around. He couldn't scan the area like he normally does. He's usually this guy that scans the area and navigates the area around him. 1, 2. He's not the biggest dribbler, but he scans the area usually. Right now, and I just see a piss poor midfielder who can't move, who can't scan the area, who can't navigate, who can't even progress the ball. Right now, something is wrong with him mentally. There's a problem with
Tony,
Martin.
that's everybody. You're saying, and that goes back to what Monty was saying earlier. There's something going on here at this club that we're not seeing because the it's almost like they're on edge out of the gate, and they're playing on. Everybody's on edge. Everybody's on edge, and it's just like the manager has completely ripped up last year's plan ripped up what we were good at, and we're going to do this. And I keep reminding people, for anybody, for all these people that want to take a shot at me and all this stuff, let's not forget the starting lineup the first few games of this season. Thomas Partey was in right back. The only thing, I guarantee you, had he not got hurt, he would have stayed there.
Oh my God! Don't bring back this cause, man. Oh my God!
The manager. Like let's look at the manager yesterday. Darren hinted at it. Let's look at the manager. Did you see the look on his face? He looked like a man that was he was looking for anything he could find. He was looking desperate. He was biting on his zipper. He was biting like this. He was biting on his zipper.
Yeah.
During the game. Kai Havertz. I talked to Lee off camera yesterday after. I said, Lee, he looks like that was a desperation move. That was desperate. There was nothing planned. That was I just got to whatever I can get right now to get something. I got to get something to get out of here. It was desperation. It was desperation. And how many times, Tony, over the last 3 years, I've told you, I said, when Arteta looks out, is usually he's just trying to throw something to see if it'll work. And if it worked, then he's going to run with it. So I expect now that we saw this, we're going to see more Kai Havertz because this works. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this, and we're going to see if this is going to work. And this is, and we're going to probably see him start against Lons on Wednesday. He's probably going to start against Lons on Wednesday. But the difference, go ahead.
But Matty, do we have a choice right now when you look straight into that bench? That's the bigger problem.
Yeah,
It's his fault, definitely. But again, of course, he can throw all the spanner, out there. But there isn't any option right now.
Yeah, I mean,
the option off the bench right now. So what can he do?
You know what, Tony? And in that, to ask that question is to answer. And in that, this is why I said, if we're not buying title sealing players in January, and I'm going to go on record. I'll go on record and I'll say, if we're not having world class or game changing players signed in January, he needs to be removed. This needs to be the final transfer window for Arteta. Either you get it. I honestly feel this needs to be it. If he cannot go out and get what we need to get over the line, because see, I'm in the mode of I'm thinking February, March, April. Those are the 3 most important months for me in this football club, because we'll be either still deep in the FA Cup, deep in the Champions League, and we should be competing for a title, or in about some round competing for a title around that time. Those are the critical months. Now we making do, but it's like you stated earlier. We see over the horizon. For anybody who think we crazy, just go back to this time last year and look at when we were talking, and then look going into the transfer window, and then look at the videos me and Tony did and Monty did during January. Just look at the videos. We got a catalog that can prove to you over the same thing we're saying now. We were saying it last year. We've got to go out and get a striker. We've got to go out and get a midfield. There should be this whole Rail and Ramsdale situation is indicative of what should be going on across the whole team. It should be players competing for positions. And the better play. Let's not forget yesterday. Saka had a stinker yesterday. Yeah, he got an assist, but he stuck up the joint yesterday. He stuck up the joint. He stuck it up. And people are at this, oh, well, no, man, it's another assist. Yeah, he assists, but let's go to the bigger picture. He's out of form.
He's out of form.
These teams have figured him out. It's no different than what happened yesterday in the City game. Doku kept going down the left side. Liverpool say, you know what? Let's just drop an extra man over there. Boom, seal him off. Same thing with Saka. Oh, is Saka coming? Double him up. 2 on him. Bang. He's ineffective. So we have to look at this thing and realize that, yes, we did get out of jail yesterday. We did, in fact, get out of jail yesterday. Yes, 29 scored a goal yesterday. But realistically, you sit down and you ask yourself, is he going to give us 15 to 18 goals to get us over the line this year?
Impossible. That won't happen.
Money, go ahead.
Impossible. That won't. Impossible. That won't happen. But Manny, Matty, you raised the point. Manny, please just give me just a few moments to address something. Yeah. But see, if we're looking at the bigger picture, yeah, we can't even still blame Martin Odegaard. Yeah, there comes a point in a player's career, yeah, where there will be this dwindling performances, yeah, in your, it will come at a stage, yeah, your performances will just drop, and that takes us to where is the competitive competition for this guy in the team. So when we don't when he's not in his A game or on his A game, then we'll have that other guy come in and replace him, at least for a while, until he could settle his demons mentally, and then he could come back. That's the problem, and it takes you to the recruitment. That's where the bulk stops. It's the recruitment. And ask yourself before Manny takes over, guys in the chat, do you trust this manager to handle any single cent of this football club in the upcoming January transfer window? That's the bigger question. And this is a question people are asking. We're just saying, go get a striker. We need a striker. We need a central midfielder. We need a defender. Do you trust this manager? Mind you, this manager brought in Jorginho. I'm not saying Jorginho is the old dog shit, but of course, he's not the best in what he does, right? Good. He brought in from Chelsea Football Club. We do know that this manager spent 65 million. 65, guys, 65. That was the same price.
How much did you spend?
That was the same price they used to bring in a certain robust in human form who's scoring goals for Manchester City
700 million
right now.
700
Right
million.
now.
700 million.
Right now. And this manager chose to bring in Kai Havertz. So that's the bigger problem that we're having. Do you trust this manager to spend any amount of money we raise from sales in the January transfer window? Even if we still have FFP breathing down our necks right now, we don't have that huge amount of money. We can only get emergency loans from Stan Kroenke if he can be able to even monster any currency, even give us any money, or any money we can realize from sales of players right now. And sales is not it's not a big strength of Arsenal, right? We don't know how to do business right. We're never gonna even sell Ramsdale in the January transfer window to raise money. We're not gonna let El Neni out. We're not gonna let Cedric the Entertainer out of this football club. Even if we even if we get Fabio Vieira out of this football club, it will only be on loan. Give you a one tap by January. We're not selling him. It will be on loan. So there's a infinitesimal, window for us to even rake in money. And even if we do rake this money, we have the problem of how to actually spend it in the January transfer window, because we don't trust this manager no more to spend a single cent after wasting away £700 million in about 4 seasons, in 4 years. And I think this will resonate deeply with Manny Tangadarai.
Take it away,
Yes,
Mark.
it does. It does. And as someone who studied finance, I can tell you that how people spend their money will certainly be indicative of how they can be trusted with money. Obviously, Mr. Odom, you'll remember you know about something called the credit score, and I believe what determines your credit score is how well you manage your finances and how well you spend your money. You don't necessarily need to save all your money for a rainy day, but at least spend wisely on the things you need and not, on frivolous purchases. What we spent on Kai Havertz is the definition of a frivolous purchase, and we still haven't spent the money we need to get a striker who can score goals. When Manchester City got rid of Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko, giving them to us, they got Alfinger Haaland. They stuck the ex-Chelsea and Bournemouth centre-back Nathan Ake at left-back, and the result was that they went on to win the treble. Haaland's goals were the difference. And as for us, we can't seem to identify what we want. We won't spend wisely, as Tony has said. Of course, there's another school of thought which says that in the January window, we can't really afford to let Ramsdale leave, because in as much as we may, some of us may now have more reason to despise him, if not for the Sporting Lisbon debacle and the Southampton debacles. We can't leave ourselves with only 2 goalkeepers at the club. But, of course, not that Ramsdale can necessarily be trusted to do better. He might have the FA Cup. And, of course, in 2002, I think Richard Wright pretty much sullied his copybook with that error against Charlton. But he did redeem himself somewhat by playing in our FA Cup games as we reached the final. And then, of course, David Seaman took his place and we won that final, beating Chelsea 2-0. If memory serves me right, it was Ray Parlour and Freddie Ljungberg who scored the goals that day. The Romford Pele, what a strike that was. But again, everything that Tony said is absolutely true. We're not going to be able to manage our finances correctly. And I want to also shout out our dear friend, Mr. Warren Bartholomew from Warren's Team Talk, who said that one of these days we are going to have an audit at the club. Because we need to sort of have an idea once and for all how we're spending our money and how much money we are earning. And if you can just go back to that previous comment, because I think somebody mentioned, we still haven't addressed issues that are priority. A backup for Saka, with Nelson not good enough, although Nelson has been touted as an option by people. Another central defensive midfielder.
Center backs.
And that. Yep, centre backs, a left back and a striker. We can see this, but Arteta, Edu, and the club can't. And it's simple because they've all got their heads up their backsides, and smart people will identify the issues that need to be addressed. But Arteta also has to take some blame because we had a perfectly good left back, albeit injury prone, in Kieran Tierney. And because he didn't suit the style that Arteta wanted, which is effectively a cheap knockoff at imitating Pep Guardiola, he's been shipped off to Real Sociedad, where the latest is that he's making an excellent recovery on his injury and he could possibly return for them before the new year, which will be great news for him, for the club and the Scotland team. And whenever he's played and been given the confidence to play, he's been outstanding. But Arteta has this nasty habit, and we've seen it time and time again, to really alienate a great deal of players and just, freeze them out horribly for no reason whatsoever. And he destroyed Tierney's confidence. I'm glad he was recovering his smile in Spain, and I think he will go on to better things away from us.
But money is I don't think is good enough, actually.
Who?
Injuries. I'm talking of Kieran Tierney, who you just raised. His injuries have blighted his disposition at Real Sociedad this season. See, I just think it's good, that we will phase out all these big part players. Yeah, it's good. We can raise that criticism that, of course, Mikel Arteta did dent his image at Arsenal. But again, is he good enough for this football club? He couldn't even.
Of course, he is
at Real Sociedad. And
no. Tony.
Okay, yeah.
Tony, that's not fair because listen, before the injury, obviously he had a star turn for Real Sociedad against Inter Milan in the Champions League, where he literally kept Denzel Dumfries quiet and was a big part of that team which held Inter Milan to a draw. And mind you, Sociedad are top of the Champions League group. And mark my words,
that's a shot in the dark. It's a shot in the dark. He hasn't played enough games this season.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Injuries can happen to anyone. I mean, in the dinner plate match, everybody was lauding Jurrien Timber to the skies, despite the fact that he was doing a Dennis Irwin effectively and playing at left back despite being right-footed. First game of the season, suffers an injury, and now we know that he's out for the whole season. And of course, we still don't even know the whole truth of the issue. I think we've got the confirmation now that he might not play again. So injuries can happen to anyone. And if it's an ACL, don't be surprised if that affects Jurrien Timber's time at Arsenal even further. I actually think that Arteta definitely deserves some blame, because if he's going to try this wonkiness of playing players out of their better positions for the sake of suiting his ridiculous tactics, he is probably going to be the death of several players. Whether it's Kieran Tierney, whether it's the likes of Jurrien Timber, even Alexander Zinchenko has had his injuries. So come on, let's cut the fella some slack. We've got to say that in terms of ability, there is really there are very few left backs in the world who are a better sight bombing forward and also defending beautifully than Kieran Tierney. And I still think that under a better manager, we wouldn't be playing this perverted, inverted style, as I would call it. We'd have a situation where we go back to basics, play players in their better positions, and just stand back and just light the blue touch paper and stand back. With Arteta, we're not going to get that. And we both agree that he is not only the one responsible for the deterioration of attitude and class in the club, he's also going to be the one responsible for the deterioration of the certain players' careers and even the football we play. And the sooner we sack him, the better. And at least under Arsene Wenger, there were still times when we actually were playing really good football and also still doing well enough to get some better results against, most teams. I mean, even the top teams are not just the also-rans. Here, we're playing against the also-rans and getting a jammy win. We're getting other jammy wins, and people are celebrating as if we've won the European Cup or the Champions League. So, back to the original question. When it comes to spending money to get what we need and also trying to offload players to raise the finances, I don't see anything much happening. We aren't going to be able to get Douglas Luiz or Ollie Watkins or even both to join them from Aston Villa, because there is no way that Unai Emery will want to allow us to muck him over again. And the board have also will make it clear, sorry, these two guys are pivotal players for us and you will not touch them, no matter how much money you offer us. So this transfer window, gentlemen, it will be the same old, same old.
Same old. Manny, this is what I was really looking at, yeah? Because I'm tired, yeah? Piss tired, yeah? Of all these players, yeah, that were paying off all this money. And you're a finance guy, yeah? You know more about this, even more than me, yeah? All these players that we're financing, they're not even playing at the football club. They are all being financed, yeah, even abroad.
Look right there, Tony.
Even abroad.
Look right there. Look.
Oh, okay. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. See, Manny, yeah, this football club and Mikel Arteta did give Nelson, a new contract. We simply forget about this. They gave the guy a new contract. This guy got a new contract. And probably 100 and something.
Odegaard.
They are the guys to raise money for us.
Yeah, and speaking of Odegaard, back to an earlier question, he has been found out. I think people have sort of were sort of willing to rate him because of one really good first season, but when if Ancelotti didn't want you and didn't think that you were tough enough to make the grade of a club like Real Madrid, that says it all. And bear in mind, they took Dani Ceballos back from us, and he won the Champions League with them. Tells the whole story, doesn't it?
Tells the whole story.
So you get. I get what you're saying. A lot of these players have been given far too much money. Now there's talk in the pipeline about giving Ben White a new deal. And,
a new deal. And mind you, he still has 3 years left in his current contract.
It's fellas.
Exactly.
I gotta hop in there right quick, fellas. Just
3 years in his current contract, Manny.
Look at this.
Good years.
No, Tony. Let's let Matt back in. He needs to speak. Yeah. Matt, go ahead, mate.
Let's look at this. 3 years. We're just adding deals. We're just adding people. And I know there's going to be a section that's going to come back and watch this later on. They're going to say, well, you guys are complaining because you all wanted them to sign up contracts and show up, guys, But the players that we're signing and reshoring up deals on, most of them are guys that we're still unsure of. I mean, what happens with Odegaard if this didn't work out with him next year? We're stuck. 4 years. 4 years. We're stuck on this. This is no different than when my man was here, when Rob Holding was here. We were sitting there. What was Mustafi? The other guy, the one that went to Germany. I can't think of the other guy's name we sold off. The boxer, the one who was fighting with Odegaard. I can't think of his name.
Socrates, I think is his name. Socrates.
Yeah, it's no different. No different. Static, welcome, brother. And it's no different than when we had all of these other players that we were unsure of. We were stuck with these contracts. It's just like with Ozil. We had to drag that contract all the way out, man. It was ghost money. We have ghost money going around here. In this time out, this is why I get so upset when it comes to January and when it comes to the summer transfer window is we always leave. And Hendon was right on my mind. Look at the money, Tony. We talk about. People always say, well, the Caucus don't give a damn. Almost 800 million. 800 million. There has to be some accountability for that. And then when you see the product that was out there on that field yesterday, the product, when you see that kind of money being spent, I'm supposed to be seeing quality football. I'm supposed to be looking at top grade football that can get us through these games. But then you have a section of the fan base, they're fine with this, that. 65. What was the song yesterday? $60 million drain. Kai Havertz scores a game. That's the new song. And here we are. We're back at this. 65 million, and that's all you got. What was it? 5 goals for Nketiah, brand new contract, 14 shirt, 100K a week. And now we got to try to sell that off. We got to try to get somebody to buy that. Static.
Good luck with that.
Welcome, my friend. What did you make of the performance on yesterday, brother?
First of all, hello everyone. Hello Matt. First time on your channel. Thank you for having me on. It's a real pleasure to be on, and it's an honor and a privilege, of course. What can I say? It was a total snooze fest. It's nothing what I've seen for the last 12 games, where we've just been slow, boring, predictable, sideways, backwards. Just no excitement. Just very predictable and just lame. Let's be honest. So you only have to look at the first 12, 13 games of last season where we actually were playing free-flowing, attacking football. Yes, I know we weren't always convincing defensively, but at least we actually had attacking flair, We had a purpose, We actually looked like we were playing for fun, Whereas now we're just playing pragmatic football, which, by the way, I've said this before on another channel. That's okay if you were playing in Italy, for example, where they always play pragmatic football. You can get away with that. Like, for example, Roma winning with Mourinho, you can win games 1-0, 2-0. That's fine. But this is the English Premier League. You can't. It's all about attacking. That's just how it is. And I've always been brought up with the sport, because obviously it's my local sport as well. So I've always been brought up knowing that it's always been attack. So listen, I know there will be people out there that say, oh, you can't win every game 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, which that's fine. Some games I can accept that, it'll be a boring 1-0 win or 2-1 win. That's fine. But you can't do it every week. It's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable.
I think people, I think as the year progresses, and right now, like I told you, Tony, earlier today, I said, the November first part of the year, you go back to April and you ask, did the first part of the year matter? And you look at where we dropped points last year. You look at everything. You have to always put everything together as a whole.
Perspective.
Yeah, perspective. That's one thing my girl always says. She always says, baby, it's always about perspective. And the perspective here is we already see we're shorthanded. We know what's coming. You've already brought up about the players that's leaving. That was at least what I count. 4 or 5 players that's leaving.
About four.
Yeah. So that's four leaving in January. So that's a whole. We had been playing academy players. So you can't say, oh, well, these guys are coming in, they're ready to go. We got guys that can fill in, Jack, the new Jack Wilshere, et cetera, So they're not prepared because, if Raya goes down, then Ramsdale, if he's still here, is going to pursue. Hine, is he prepared? You have all of these questions. There's no assurance at all when you look at this football club. And then you combine that with the play that we've had, because I'll have to remind people again, Nottingham Forest they had the young man. If the young man put away his dinner when we played them, that's probably a loss right at the beginning of the season. Fulham came back, draw. Crystal Palace penalty kick to win the game. It took us to win. Deflation go. It's Everything is scuffling. We're scraping by. We're scraping
Every
by.
day we're struggling. Boop, boop,
Every
boop,
day
boop,
I'm
boop.
struggling. Every day I'm struggling. Yeah, every day we struggling. Yeah, that's it.
But again, Matty,
We almost lost
that-
to Fulham as well,
but-
boys.
but-
You know,
Yeah, Fulham. Yeah, this is Fulham.
right at the dying seconds of the game.
But guys, yeah, there's this
Yeah.
big argument down there. Yeah, of course, Matty, it's good you brought in that argument. Yeah, because certain fans, yeah, of our fan base, yeah, they're also saying, good. It's good you bringing up this argument about that draw against Fulham, about almost dropping the ball against Nottingham Forest. But they will say
And Tottenham.
we're topping. They will say what we're topping our league table right now. They will say we're topping our Champions League table right now. There's nothing happening. They would look at that Kai Havertz thing as a different thing. They would even look at they would even herald what happened yesterday as typical Arteta genius. Yeah, bringing in a player almost in the 80-something minute, and then he's scoring an 89-minute winner. They will say it's an Arteta genius. So, we're struggling with our performances, yeah? Right now, we're top of the table. We're top of the league right now. Kai Havertz was brought in towards the end of the game, and he scored a goal yesterday. We're having a big problem reconciling what's really going on, what we, gentlemen, right here are talking about with what is out there right now. And how do we reconcile it? How do we make these fans, yeah, that have a problem understanding what we're talking about right now? Because we are looking long term at what's going to happen. They are looking short term at where we are right now. Now, we've been there last season. We've seen what happened last season. That's why we're also talking about what's going on and what's to come. So how do we start reconciling what's really happening right now? How do we start telling these fans, hey, we're not there right now, but right now what they're saying is Arsenal is top of the table. Arsenal is top in the Champions League table right now. They brought in Kai Havertz. He did score a goal in the 89 minutes yesterday. It's all good. In their minds, it's all good. We have to have a jamboree.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at this thing, man, and the reality of the situation is, it's a rough season this year. That being at the top of the table masks all of the problems, and people are looking past that because we're at the top. I wonder what the conversation would be if we were in 8th place. And I wonder what the conversation would be there, because the problems that I'm seeing are problems that could easily take us from where we are in the table right down to there. If we get two or three draws, and we're and everybody else do what they're supposed to do, it's flip flopping. But like I told y'all earlier in the show, I'm going to pull the table up here. Let me pull this table up, and I want you to listen to where these teams are in the table. Let me try to pull this thing up there. I have 10 things going on here. All right, so we're at the top of the table. Everybody's Arsenal. We the top. We the top. We got fans like this that's coming out talking about
That Slice. Big ups to you, Slice, man. Very opinionated man.
Folks,
Big ups to you.
Folks that's mad that they're talking about
to
people.
be open-minded.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is what
open-minded is also fans.
This is what I'm saying, Static. Ultimately, this is what I'm saying. We have to look at things from an open book. We're first place, 30 points. City, 29. Liverpool, 28. Aston Villa, 28. Spurs, 26. United, who I think they've won. I think that's gone 5.
Yep, 3-0.
Yeah, they're now on 20. 27? 27 points, something like that. So look around us, people. Look around us. In order, we would have to keep this form up for the rest of the year.
Mm.
And guess what? Hendon's already stated it. Tony's already stated it. Static has already stated it. Monty stated it. Darren stated it. I've been stating it. It's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. And is Jesus scoring 20 goals this year? That's a question that needs to be brought up.
No.
That's a big
No.
one. No, man, it's not.
Is he scoring 20 goals this year?
And we know he's not going to score those goals
He's
We
never
know.
scored 20 goals in his career, so
in
no.
his career.
No.
That's true.
No, the question here is why are we still not prepared? This is, you know what this is that we're seeing with these fans, gentlemen? It's what I told y'all at the beginning of the year. What's the term I use? This is the hope strategy. This is it. I hope that Kai Havertz can score 30 goals this year. I hope that the money that we pay for him is starting to help out. I hope Arteta can find a way to get us over. I'm telling you, it's the hope strategy. And this is what this season has become. It's the hope strategy. And people are just, like yesterday, they latch on to these wins and they just go crazy. I've seen people cussing. They talk. I've seen all kinds of vile stuff thrown around yesterday online after that.
I saw you. Matt, sorry, Matt. I was going to say I saw you getting attacked. Saw Lee get attacked on your side. I saw a live stream, the replay of it yesterday, even this morning. Even the comments from your fan cam reaction with Lee, and it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Such vile comments, man.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I already know I'm a black man from South Georgia. I already know it's real. You think if you think online comments hurt me, try staying in the South in Georgia, and trust me, my skin is pretty thick. Ain't too much.
He's used to it already.
I'm like, bro, I'm a black man. There's nothing somebody online can say to me that can hurt my feelings.
Amen, brother.
I'm gonna tell you like this here. When we get to about March and April, and if we're not in the top two, because the way I'm looking at this year, it's going to be your top two that's going to have to compete. That's going to pull away late. And if you think that City, let me park this right here, and we'll talk. Let me park this right here. Let me back this truck up, Tony, and unload this loaf of bread right quick. If you think Man City is not going to spend some money this January, if you think they ain't spending no money this January, if you think Tottenham is not going to look up and say, man, Richarlison ain't doing it. We might need to go in for Ivan Toney. We might need to go in for him. If you think Liverpool won't get some insurance to make sure, if you think Aston Villa, if you think these teams ain't for the Newcastle is still out there.
Exactly.
If you think Brighton, if you think these teams ain't getting ready, man. And if you think we can sustain this for the rest of the season, I've got a bridge downtown making I can sell you.
And that's true. And remember, Tottenham Hotspur still have that 100 million burning a big hole in their bank account. That money they got from Hurricane has moved to Bayern Munich. They still have that money. Nothing has been spent out of that money. So that's a big point you raised down there, Matty.
I just think that we fans, as Static stated earlier, we have got to start looking at this thing with an open mind. Fans have got to stop getting caught up in emotionalism. They won't have to. They've got to get away from emotionalism. And I know it, but this is also what I call Stockholm syndrome. You've been mistreated for so long. We've been so mistreated. We hadn't had anything. We hadn't had any true reason for celebration. So we'll take anything we get. What'd you say, Tony? Just make me feel good. Just make me feel good.
Matt, can I?
Oh my God.
Sorry, Matt. Can I just say that that fan that you highlighted the comments. I used to be a fan. I used to be like that person, like 10 years ago, when I used to be brainwashed by the fan base and everything. But for some miracle, I managed to hear other people's opinions, started to become even more open-minded. Then I realized, all of what I've been told and learned, I was actually brainwashed. I then grew a brain and realized this isn't me. This isn't really me. And I'm just like, yeah, let's just go with what's going on. And then, I just realized, this club's just not going the way I want it to go, which is to be winning major trophies every year.
Yeah,
I used to fall for that. Like, I used to accept that. Oh, it's okay, it's another year. But it was around 2010. That's when I realized, no, enough's enough. So, 2010.
Monty,
Now 2023. We're now in 2023.
Yep.
any thoughts on this, Monty? This fan base and what just open mindedness.
You know what? Ever since making the decision to come back on Twitter, one of the first things I did, and maybe I don't think Static will remember this, but you know, I remember going on my second day back, going into a long sort of tirade against Arteta and why I don't think he's the right man for the job, and then I had someone come at me and try and, you know, reply to me saying, "We don't." Oh, you do. Wonderful. So.
Yep,
he sort of came at me and started attacking me, saying that I'm not a true fan and so forth, and then eventually blocked me. And I've had to deal with such morons since, a bunch of utter morons who, quite frankly, are, you know, ignorant about certain aspects of football. One particular aspect being how certain players who would benefit our club today and who should be at our club are not there, but it's good riddance to them because apparently they have a bad attitude. What rubbish. You know, this is one particular tweet, and I'm going to call out this idiot named Jack Gooner, real name Jack Sessions, who has a podcast on YouTube.
That buffoon there. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, called Purely Arsenal. This guy, and I would share this a series of tweets with you if I could, but I don't want to, you know, completely, you know, over sort of hog the stage over here. This guy, you know, Jack's not nimble. He's certainly not quick, and he couldn't even blow out his own candlesticks. Saying Emi Martinez is nothing but a moment's goalkeeper. He lacks any sort of consistency, and I can't wait to see him chuck a goal into his own net against Bournemouth next week. I told him, look, we've got Ryan Ramsdale as our goalkeepers, so if people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And this idiot went on to say that they were both better than Martinez, unless it's a cup final. I told him that no, in terms of the basic disciplines, Martinez is much better in terms of positioning and shot stopping, claiming high balls. He's improved his play from the back. And then he utters this ridiculous line saying, no, he's terrible with his feet. He played today against Tottenham. Didn't make a single mistake with his feet. There were some times, I will admit, then where when maybe the Villa fans and even me would have had my heart in my mouth when I saw the ball being played close to him. But cool as a cucumber, he was able to pass it away and never had any problems. Unlike Ramsdale, who literally fluffed his lines twice.
Oh.
And of course, we can never ever forget that incident against Manchester City, when David Raya took a little bit too long and Martinez's teammate, Julian Alvarez, very nearly scored against him. But then I sort of dropped the mic on him by saying, look, you are an Arteta in fan. You literally are a sycophant. I can't expect anything less than pig ignorance from you. And I blocked the guy.
Yeah.
Well done.
This is the level of the fan base we're talking about right now, gentlemen. A bunch of people who aren't so much Arsenal FC, but Arteta FC. Yep. And another culprit is this idiot named Kinos, real name Ken, but he calls himself Kinos, who runs the She Wore a Yellow Ribbon blog. You'll know that particular site, Static, and a few others, is a site where, you know, a lot of merchandise is sold. But one look at that blog site, and that is nothing but the most puerile pro-Arteta propaganda I've ever seen. I've even ripped him a new one on a few of his posts. And sadly, though, he blocked me on Twitter, but good riddance. I'm still going to mention him and read his blog and call him out every single chance I can get. You know, ever since Arteta came back in, I don't know. You remember the song, I Put a Spell on You?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Put a spell on you because you were mine.
have...
I remember my mum singing that to me.
Coming that voodoo. They've been on the Arteta voodoo. Go ahead.
Oh, you bet. We're in this hoodoo because of the Arteta voodoo, and that's and now and it's not just a hoodoo. We're in deep doo-doo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And look, they're pro Arteta, but they're anti Arsenal, and that's the problem. And they can't seem to shake their minds off the fact that the same issues that were plaguing Wenger during the end of his time with us have cropped up again. The same stubbornness, the same unwillingness to look inside himself and say, you know what, we've got to do things differently. And the results reflected that. winning a few FA Cups was never going to be good enough, given our move to the Emirates and the promises we were sold, in making that move. And it's just it's coming back all over and over again. I credit Unai Emery, and I credit him for the job he's done with Aston Villa. He was a guy who wanted to try to change tack and try and take the club in a different direction and see if they could win. And this guy was a serious winner, but he never got the backing he deserved. And so, as long as the board are all in with this, as the fan base are going to be in with this, they're going to just lap up every single bit of this. And some of these people, I also want to shout out our good friend Diesel from Diesel and Arsenal, who said it perfectly. Most of these guys who come on YouTube and talk about how everything is rosy in the garden are just paid actors, because behind the scenes they're probably saying, I can't believe I've had to say this sort of rubbish. So credit to the likes of Kenny Ken for walking away from that ridiculous group. But even some people who are independent of AFTV are still going to utter the same rubbish, because they've been so brainwashed, as Static would say. It's scary. And it's going to take a lot of time, because when you're a part of a cult, the deprogramming, as you would know, Matt, will take a very long time.
Yeah.
So something seismic is going to have to happen. And it might very well be, as Darren Sullivan would say, that we might have to lose a great deal of many games and have a dreadful finish to the season before people take a look and say, you know what, maybe it's the manager that's the problem. Kenny Ken always says the club is the star and no player is bigger than the club. Well, as far as I'm concerned, no manager should be bigger than the club either.
Yeah, Manny, I will raise my hand up, yeah, but for everyone in the chart, yeah, because of course you did raise a very, very big point. Up until last season, end of last season, I was Corley Arteta in, and of course, Matt,
Yeah, I remember.
you're down there. You know the reason to the case to you. Yeah, because I look at myself as a third person. I've told Manny about this. Manny kind of like understands a little bit with me. Yeah, it just took me up until the EFL Cup game we had against West Ham, where I became I totally had enough of the whole charade, and totally right now, and I'm at that out because I've seen that the manager
Well done.
doesn't want to win trophies. Yeah, and see, me being at Teta in last season, yeah, was for a reason, because I did recognize the fact that you have to build a team. I did recognize the fact that Arsenal was rotten from top to bottom. I'm talking of the board. I'm talking of Stan Kroenke himself. No one wanted to put up money. No one wanted to put up cash. Yeah, at the time. Yeah, and we still had defenders like Mustafi in this football club, Socrates in this football club. We still had people like like Ozil, who never wanted to don the Arsenal shirt, but wanted to still keep getting money. We had horrible attitudes in players like Aubameyang. Yes, he was scoring goals, but after he stopped scoring his goals, of course you see what happened. So all these players that didn't want to play for Arsenal Football Club were all there, and that's what I was looking at. Okay, he needs to do a cleanup. He needs to get all these players out of the football club. So that was what I was looking at the time, and the manager needs time to do all these things. So that's why I was like, okay, let me just give him time to just get the rubbles out, and then when he has his own team, you have to go for the juggler and bring us the big one. And the truth of the matter is that now it's his team holistically. Now there is no other excuse right now. He can't say, you see, I still have Socrates right here. He can't say that. There's no excuse right now for what's happening right now. You've been supported by the board. You've been given near. I'm even seeing before I thought it was up to 700 million pounds. Right now I'm seeing it's up to even 800. See, yeah, if we've spent close to all this, monies on this football club right now and in 4 seasons with this manager, then I'm sorry, man, I'm at that out. And with what happened at the in that Carabao Cup game, man, it hurt me to see players that could actually change the game sit on the bench, and this manager just sat there and allow a cup game. Who are we? Who are we right now? Who is Mikel Arteta to claim, yeah, that we don't need this type of cup. We don't need this one. We'll go for the bigger fish at this time. Who are you? We're starving of trophies, and you're giving trophies
We
away.
leave United
That
to
was
have
my
a go
problem.
at the Europa
So,
League. We've
No,
got
don't say you
bigger
leave us. No, don't say
fish
that
to
because
fry.
Okay, Tony. I just I had to play bigger. You got bigger fish to fry.
exactly, man. It hurt me. It hurt me. And right now, I'm at Teta out because I've seen it clearly. This manager can't win trophies for us, at least the big ones.
Yeah, and the irony is, Tony, that he actually thought he could break up the FA Cup winning team by getting rid of the likes of Emi Martinez and Aubameyang and so forth, and try and stamp his own authority. History tells us that managers who break up trophy-winning teams to try to stamp their own mark will seldom ever be successful. Good mention here for Rafa Benitez, who thought that he would be very clever and try and break up the Champions League winning team of 2005. He won Sweet Jack all since. The FA Cup the following season was the only thing he won. I think he proved over the years that he's one of the most overrated managers I've ever seen. And now he's struggling with Celta Vigo, with the club in the Spanish Premier Liga relegation zone. His managerial career should really be now over and out. But Arteta's done the same thing. And what's ironic is the same players who he apparently saw it fit to get away because apparently he didn't like their attitude are the same players who helped win him the trophy that got him the job in the first place. And you're absolutely spot on. How dare a manager like Arteta diss the value of winning trophies? How dare this fan base see it fit to criticize players like Martinez and Aubameyang and others who at least who knew what it was like to win and who are winners in their own right and who did a great deal for him, but because they weren't willing to toe his line, he got rid of them. And this is interesting because Highbury's local badge is saying here, just go back to that, please, mate.
Yeah.
Emery never got the backing because the Kroenkes wanted a yes man, nobody loser called Arteta. I never wanted both. I wanted winners called Ancelotti and Frank Rijkaard. Ancelotti, I definitely know. I don't quite know what Rijkaard's done. Thank God I don't fuel KSE. Yeah, that's pretty much. I think you speak for both of us, and yep, completely agree with Eli the Book Reaper. He's got to go ASAP, and the fans also sooner or later will have to see that we need a change. But once again, the same charade's going to be played year in, year out. People are going to say, "Oh, we've got such a wonderful young team, an evolving team, and we should be proud of that, even if we don't win." For heaven's sake. There was even another tweet I put out saying that, I was quote tweeting some guy named Seeger, I think. It might be Dave Seeger or Pete Seeger. I will look up that tweet right now. And just, and this one, I'm going to show it to you right now. I just want to see if I can get it. And yep, this is the tweet. And gentlemen, I would like to share it. And it's Dave Seeger right now. And I'm just going to use the prevent screen right here. And some of the reactions I've gotten over here sum up the manager and the fan base in a nutshell. Right. So, yeah, let me click share. So can you all see this tweet right now? The original tweet from our friend Mr. Seeger saying, Odegaard, the guy who we've been slating is now someone out of form who's struggling and who's been found out. He's grown into the captain's role. He's at ease with the responsibility and wears it well, prompting and urging his team on, quick to console and encourage individuals after errors on the pitch, stepping up himself in key moments. The armband means something again.
Yeah.
And here's my
Pathetic.
quote. So, when Aubameyang stepped up to win the 2020 FA Cup with goals in the semi-final and the final, only to be alienated by Arteta not long afterwards, the armband meant nothing then? I wouldn't necessarily say that Odegaard is dreadful. He may be decent, but until and unless he wins major silverware, he will be a failure as a captain. Just pathetic. And gentlemen, take a look at some of the replies. I don't want to share this one. Completely abusive. I blocked this idiot anyway, but I shouldn't have mentioned that. I do apologize. Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, and yeah, talking about Alba turning up late up training multiple times, blah, 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 blah. And then this one right here, not this one right here, but yeah, and this guy, Seeger, went on to, quote, tweet me in return. And Take a look at what he said. This fan believes Odegaard to be a failure as skipper until he wins a trophy as one. And I can't believe that some of these guys on Twitter actually have enough experience influence away from Twitter to be owning their own podcasts and websites. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the comment. I'm just seeing. Go scroll back. All right, I want to see that. I want to read this one right here. Let me see that. Right here. Look at it. It says Dave Simpson. He said, "What's so hard to understand? He not won anything. Won nothing. Would you like a statue of the image go along? Captain Tony Adams? Yeah, I mean, he hadn't won anything. This is what our fan base.
Unbelievable.
It's I couldn't you took the words out of my mouth. Stat. Unbelievable. This fan base is unbelievable. We are right with people. It's like drones. It's like zombies. We got zombies. The night of the living fan. The night of the living fan.
Yeah. God bless you, Dolores O'Riordan. What's in their heads? Their heads. Zombies.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's just. Yeah. That's what we have, man.
That's from The Simpsons, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matty.
And this one from Duncan. We've got some right comedians in our fan base, and then any others I might have missed out. Oh, and this one here from Jacob Weeks. Let me take a look. Oh yeah. Okay, forget about this one from Timothy James. But take a look at this. You could be the best captain in the world, but be surrounded by subpar team members. Silverware is not what dictates a good captain. It's the leadership and accountability to raise everyone around you. He does that, and although Silverware should happen, that defines the team and not him.
I love the squeaky voice, Manny.
We need to get you on to just read tweets one day. Just read tweets.
Yeah. Tell that to the greatest captain in our club's history. And where the hell was this Odegaard?
I miss him
every
every day, boys. Every day. I miss this beautiful man.
Yeah.
Fellas,
What a captain he was.
We're gonna go ahead and round off, man. I know. Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Please. Let's also remember Terry Venables.
Yeah, I got to start. I was gonna bring him up right before we got out of here. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
One of the biggest, brains of his generation. Yeah, took England, if I remember, to the European Championships in 1996. I think he lost in the semi-finals against Germany. Big player he was, during his time. And he also won the League Cup. I think he won the League Cup with Chelsea Football Club. He also won if I'm not mistaken, I think he also won. I think either the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, or something. I don't know. Like that, I forgot about. It was not a major title anyway. With Chelsea Football Club at the time.
It was a cup, though. It was a cup, Tony. He took the cup serious.
Yeah, he took the cup seriously anyway. Yeah, died at the age of 80 today. So he's still rest in peace. Well, we remember him. Great character. I liked him when he was coaching England. If not, he would have stayed on actually. Coaching England, if not for the lawsuits he got from some external parties for financial dealings. That he had to. That he got engulfed with at the time. So a big character, like the guy, as a coach anyway. And big ups to everyone who have remembered them in their podcast, who has remembered him in their podcast today. So rest in peace.
Yep, awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you have coming up, Tony? What you got coming up on your channel, brother?
I traveled, so I just left the sea, so I just landed this evening back on land. So tomorrow, Static. I was just saying, I don't know how Static came up today, yeah, but Static should be having a head-to-head tomorrow with the Oregon Gooner. I was to send him a message this evening, so he should come and visit us on our show tomorrow.
Let me know. I'll do what I can.
The Darlem Cloud show tomorrow in the evening. So Static should be coming up on that one with me and Oregon Gunner tomorrow, Monday. So that'll be the first teaser tomorrow. We'll be talking about Kai Havertz. Definitely, we'll be opening that discussion about this guy. Yeah, we'll be talking about Arsenal, top of the league, top of the Champions League. Should we be having a jamboree? All these things. Yeah, we're talking about it tomorrow. Come join me, Static and Oregon Gune, to talk about this.
All right, cool. Monty, I know you sometimes you can't take over at Dale Boy. What you got
That's
coming
good.
down the pipe, man?
Yeah, nothing really much. I mean, obviously, I will be sort of hopping on different YouTube channels. I will certainly love to hop on Tony's again sometime soon. You will catch me, obviously, doing some work with Oris Talks Football and the Coaches Corner. I think we've got a review show coming up then. And maybe I'll be doing a watch along for 1 or 2 Champions League games. But apart from that, that's just it. And, I don't really have a channel of my own, but I do like to float around here and there. And, just being on these streams gives me a great deal of happiness. And, Matt, I always make it a point to shout you out whenever I can. And I'm really happy that you called me on. And once again, I do apologize for the lateness. Lateness is not greatness. Regardless.
Don't need to.
Regardless of what people say, lateness isn't greatness. But I'm glad I was able to join in.
You great in my eyes, brother.
You're great
Cheers,
in my eyes
you.
too, Manny. We love you.
Yeah.
Thank
Likewise,
you.
Manny.
Thank you. I'm glad I was able to enjoy the meat and the potatoes of the debate, and also had a start with the Twitter stuff. All I can say at the end is that it's now we know that there are people in this world who put the twit in Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm just showing you that today.
Yeah, we've got some sick people in this fan base. Statman, good to see you, brother. Like I said, I was gonna get you. I meant to reach out to you earlier, and I'm glad you hit me up in the chat. And I was like, that's who it was. So, Stat, I'm glad you was able to hop in, man. We shall do this again, brother. What do you have going on? I know Tony alluded to it, but what else you got coming up, brother?
I'm pretty much an open book this week. So, if people want me to come on their live shows this week, I'm more than happy to. So, apparently, I'm on Tony Claus tomorrow. So, yeah, bring it on.
All right, sweet.
But I'll also will be around in the live chat, doing my usual work as moderator. So, as long as everyone's being respectful, then there's no problems. I also wonder if you could highlight Del Boy Gunner TV as comment again.
Let me pull him up here. Let me pull up brother Del Boy.
Shout out to Del Boy, man. Great guy.
Del Boy,
Great guy.
love you, bro. When are you going to do a live show again?
Yeah, listen. Yeah, but in light of everything that's obviously happened in Ireland recently, obviously,
of course.
it's in his
Yeah.
He lives in Dublin. I think he might have been a bit shaken, so we want to make sure that we give him all the time he needs to just.
My heart goes out to you, Del Boy.
To sort of just take it take everything coolly and comfortably, and come back whenever he feels like it. And but as Matt says, I sometimes cover for him, but it's Del Boy Gunner TV, not Manny Gunner TV. He asks me for a favor, I oblige.
And as you highlight the comment, Matt, I just want to say to everyone live chat, please subscribe to Del Boy Gunner TV. He's 100 subscribers short of 1K.
Let's get him over the line. Let's get him over the line.
Get him over the line, guys. Get him over the line.
Over the line. Also,
incredible character, man. Love that.
Make sure you subscribe to this man, Tony Clark Gunner TV. Y'all make sure y'all go support Tony.
Oh yeah.
And also, if you want to, at your behest, you can go over there and check out the pan cam I did with Lee yesterday. And
Matt,
go ahead,
Matt. Can I just say, do you want me to shout out my socials as well?
Yeah, go ahead. Shout out your socials, brother.
Okay, cool. If anyone wants to find me, you can find me on Instagram. It's just static underscore 5. Can't get the words right. And yeah, like I say, you can find me anywhere within the Arsenal fan community. I'll be in live chat. If you see me in live chat, just come say hello and I'll do my very best to respond. And can I just say one more thing as well?
Yeah.
For what I said of the 2010 comments before, I'm glad I said that as well and I'm glad I took action as well, because obviously during that period of time, we went many years without a trophy, and then of course it ended up being 9 years in 2014. It turns out I was right, and I'm seeing the same thing again, and people want me to be content and happy. Oh, just be happy. Why? I've gone through the 9-year trophy drought. Why do I want to go through that again? That was a nightmare. I had nightmares constantly about that. I don't want to go through that again. It's now 3 years. Oh my God. So it's just, that's when this fan base needs to wake up and start demanding more, because, You know, have you all forgotten what we went through that 9-year period of no trophies? None whatsoever.
I'll say,
I don't want to go through that again. But yeah. That's it for me.
I'll say this in closing. This will be my closing statement for tonight. I want whoever watches this video and hears it up under the sound of my voice, whether you watch it this week, next week, months down the line, you're in the car riding, you're going down the interstate, whatever. I want people to understand that it's not a God-given right for Arsenal to compete.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a God-given right that we're going to compete every single year for the next 30 years. There's no right for Arsenal to be in the Premier League. We have to take the opportunities that we have and as a club make the most of it when we have that opportunity. This is why I hold the standard that I hold for this football club, that we should be challenging, that we should be competing, and we should be competing at the highest level. I'll say it like I said it last year. For those who don't seem to think that I care about the club, if we lose if we miss out on the title, and it's by 1 point, 2 points, but we fought all the way to the finish, and we really made it hard for them, and we drug it out, I have no quarrels. But if I continue to watch a team that we just fold up when it gets tight, we don't invest where we need to invest. We throw away cups, as Tony says. We throw away cups and chances to bring in silverware to chase something that we don't win, and then we hide behind the fact that, but we qualify for the Champions League, but we're not winning that, then, I'm going to have some issues. And I want people to understand, step back sometime. Step back, get out of your emotions, look at the bigger picture, and then ask yourself, what can we do to improve on where we have problems? And once you do that, you then become to think as a rational fan. And with that, I want to let everybody know that this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be 9 p.m. UK time, I'm going to be on with It's LB. And we'll be talking. I've got to talk to him about that draw yesterday. I want to get his thoughts on that. Or are they ready to hit the panic button over there at Man City? And then that's going to pretty much be it for me this week. Outside of the Champions League game on Wednesday, I'll be doing the watch along with that. And hopefully we can get our goal scoring boots on, that we can put lawns away, because we owe them from earlier in the Champions League. Go ahead, brother.
Guys, I'll just leave you guys with a pattern, with a pattern shot. Yesterday, we did see Mikel Arteta, put Kai Havertz on a headlock yesterday. After the games yesterday, and ran him around the field and took him to the fans to get clapped off, and pointed at him, and all those stuff. Mind you, we did have Trossard, who did bail us. I didn't see any of all that, shenanigans going on with Trossard, who has actually saved us in about 2-3 games now. Guys, I will be having a very, very expansive discussion about that. Because I think that's meant to divide rather than meant to bring players together in the football club. We have learned coming up this week. I hope we win that one, guys. See, guys, we need to seal the deal. I think on Wednesday, we need to seal that deal. That's a big, 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 big one here, guys. If we lose the upcoming 2 games, there's still a chance that we might not even qualify for the next stage of the Champions League. So that's a very, very big one.
If PSV and Lens win their remaining games against us and Sevilla, that's it. We're into the Europa League. I did the math.
That's it. We're into the Europa League. So, guys, it's a big one. We can't rest right now. No rest for the wicked.
No.
We need to go in for that into that Lens game and win that game. Just like Manny rightfully said, there's still a chance mathematically that Arsenal can still, jump straight right into the Europa League. So let's go and do the job against Lens this week.
Yep. Fact. All right, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Warren, who stepped in late here. Warren, good, always good to see you, brother. Hope you're feeling better, man. Warren's been under the weather. Otherwise, he probably been up here. But hope you get well, brother. Get you some rest, man, and go back and watch the replay and enjoy yourself, man. Thank you to Darren, who came through as well. Hope you're doing well, brother. Thank you again. Always good to hear the voice of reason. And for everybody in the chat that's been with us for this 2 hours today, extended show today, Want to say thank you for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Have a good night. Cheers.